Yeah, we're seeing that Chen a lot.
Mhm.
And it's been popular. Like you were saying with the Sven, you've seen it a couple times in the South American region. I saw it a couple times for OG. Maybe one of the only teams that in this region knows how to handle it. I mean, they just open up the entire map for Sumail, and then when he's ready, he comes out.
Yeah. It makes sense that they would pick it last game, seeing how well last game went. They played it pretty well on Kuroki. They're probably watching that one as well, coming up with some extra ideas. Watching Kuroki draft is something a lot of teams take notes on, I feel like.
And
No,
despite the
Taylor, you made
public
some comments
outlash.
about that post. TI is, was it TI8? He said, "Why do you think, what do you think going into this? Oh, just taking Kuroki's advice or something like that." That he said.
So what's a hero that you are hoping to see come into play here?
And I was saying I wouldn't mind seeing Wraith King. They do have the Bat Rider on the side of Alliance, so Legion Commander makes a lot of sense. Again, one of the better counters to Bat Rider, both in lane and outside. You can save whoever he jumps on top of with the lasso, and you can purge off those sticky napalm stacks inside the laning phase. Either way, they would have needed a hero with some sort of dispel to deal with the Bat Rider in the laning phase. Otherwise, they would have been countered, and they banned themselves out from doing that right away by picking up the Slark. Lifestealer would have been one option for them.
5 seconds
Especially
remaining.
considering they know the Alliance can't pick up Lifestealer as well, due to the Razor being on their team, or at least they're being in a pretty bad place if they do.
But
Alliance need to figure out what they want to do pretty fast here. I was going to say, they take Spectre.
Interesting, because I feel like Spectre is one of those heroes where it takes a long time for Spectre to get online, and unless you have a team, say, like OG, that can really afford you that time, it's just not going to come.
It's really weak right now as well. Yeah, OG affords you that time, but I feel like one of the reasons they were so strong with Spectre is because they were really abusing that damage reduction, which, of course, a lot of that has been mitigated or removed from the game. Like the combination of the Spectre and the Wisp, having that combination was like, what, 40% or 42% damage reduction? Damage in all directions when you, because it added on to each other instead of being like, what is it? What the word am I looking for here?
Multiplicative?
That's the one. Thank you, Bkop. You speak the good like, I'll do the other things here.
It's my 2-year degree coming in some handiwork right there.
Meanwhile, me with the NA education now. Yeah, it would add on to each other, unlike magic resistance. So each time you get extra magic resistance, it reduces. So if you did 1,000 damage to the Spectre, who had the damage reduction and the magic resistance, it would only do like 300 damage or less.
10 seconds
It
remaining.
was
5 seconds.
It was balanced. It was balanced. It was the game exactly as intended.
Alliances turn to
I feel like that's disingenuous right there, the balance that you're talking about. Oh, God. They make one pick, and all of a sudden, it's just like gongs and noises. I don't know how loud it is coming in for you, but they made that Windrunner pick, and I swear my headphones just went off with gongs and noises, like I said.
Yeah, just nonstop. They definitely planned this one. Actually, they both dropped the celebratory gongs at the exact same time. My bad. When I see the Wind Ranger, I immediately think Weehaw, but that's 3-3 and not Weehaw. Weehaw's on another team. But that's one of the reasons why I feel like they picked him up for Old Liquid.
He's missing a W.
Super strong player on a couple heroes, Wind Ranger being one of them, and gave them opportunities to play the game in a different way that they wouldn't have been able to have with Matumba Man, who is now on Secret.
Quite the upgrade for Matu for sure, and honestly, a great pickup there for Team Secret overall with Matu.
I mean, they're doing amazing right now. I think they're stronger than they've ever been.
Which is interesting considering the rosters they've had.
They've always, I feel like, had this the strongest or like top 5. At any given time, Team Secret has had like top 4 strongest roster in Dota.
I think just at times the only thing holding them back was egos.
Yeah, that was back a couple years ago when Secret first formed. It was egos, but I think people have grown past that a little bit. They're more mature players now. And Puppy has been at the top of the game for 10 years. It's crazy to think about. It's 10 years of being a tier 1 player, unquestionably. Anyways, enough about Puppy. Liquid picking up the Liquid hero, Morphling, last pick. Mickey. Looking at these 2 drafts, I definitely say I'd favor the draft of Liquid. I think they're probably going to come out on top this game. Earthshaker is an amazing hero, has tons of lockdown. Legion Commander is able to get on top of a lot of these people and punish them. Morphling is going to be there and help them secure the late game. The only thing I'm worried about is if this goes ultralight, dealing with the combination of the Oracle and the Spectre is going to be a little bit hard. And Legion Commanders has been nerfed a little bit due to how Blade Mail was nerfed. Believe it or not, at the moment, all melee heroes can actually block 16 damage of the damage return on Blade Mail.
Jeez. So definitely getting a little bit of a nerf there as an item.
Yeah, and it doesn't go through the magic community anymore. It's got the damage mitigation on the damage that it returns. It just feels super awkward as an item right now. I'm not really sure it's worth the 2,200 gold. I mean, it's got spikes all over it. The shopkeeper's trying to rip you off. Armor is supposed to protect you.
It's definitely one of those items that looks better, you know, better in the store than it does on you.
Well, do you remember that the patch that they first changed Blood Rage around, that it would just amplify all outgoing damage and incoming damage? You would get the damage amplification coming into you amplified, so you'd take more, and you'd also dish out more. So instead of the 100% damage return on Blade Mail, it would be more like almost 200%, because you'd be doing the extra damage and it would return more. Bring that Blade Mail back, or that Bloodseeker back.
So, Liquid against Alliance, game 1 coming in at you real quick. And I was going to say, when we were talking about favorites or players that we like following on these teams, Taiga is one of those for me, as well as Mickey. I had one time where I got to cast Alliance back about a year ago, and I was pronouncing their name wrong to the point where, you know, I cited the rage of not a rage. It really wasn't rage. It was just a tweet saying, that's not how you say their names. So I'm sorry. This is from the big man on campus himself. And I've never said them wrong since.
There's been worse pronunciation of player and team names. Trust me. I'm not going to name any names. Don't want to out anybody. But there's definitely been worse.
You know who you are.
You know who you are if you're watching right now. Don't do it again.
So, 33 here on the Batrider. Looking like he might even be up against Trilane, at least to start this lane up. You know, I was talking in the previous series how much I love core Batrider, and now what we see in the difference is the Legion Commander did get picked up here for Liquid, but they don't sacrifice and throw the Batrider down to the 5.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, they decided to teleport people out of the way. It's not worth sending all these heroes up against the Batrider. Again, if you play too far forward and aggressive onto him, he's going to be able to get a lot of sticky napalm stacks and punish you. Again, you want to get back before he's able to get too many of these sticky napalm stacks. He can't go too far forward. He doesn't do pretty well against tri-lanes for that reason. Taiga down here in the Earthshaker. This is what we were talking about. A lot more heroes at early levels in the patch are going Boots of Speed, just so they can move between the lanes a lot faster. Not necessarily use the town portal scrolls. Earthshaker, I feel like, is one of the worst heroes for it, because he more so just throws out his Fisher, and that's it. It's got a fairly long cooldown.
You're just trying to get the proper block, if anything, and he will grab a good block on a Nico Baby, but the Fortune's End thrown at the Legion Commander would make it hard for Boxy to even move in on that. And Nico Baby immediately pops the salve to be back full health and close to full mana.
On top of it being hard to go in on that, he's not going to have a hard time getting away from these Fisher blocks, because again, he's got Spectral Dagger. You know what that means? Free pathing.
So, you know, having that free pathing, does that even make it worth having the Earthshaker down here?
I mean, the Spectre only has so much mana, it costs a lot, she regens very, very slowly. I would say no, but any sort of pressure you can put on the Spectre, slow down that farm at the start, make it harder for her to get a... Oh, first blood coming out.
First one here for Insania on a Hanskin. So an early lead, something we were talking about, you know, for Liquid, how much time are they going to allow Nico Baby to get, as well as, you know, the flip side of that coin, how much time is Alliance going to make for Nico Baby? You know, what is enough time here for a Spectre? And, you know, what is he going to need? What is Alliance looking to give him?
I think... Well, it looks like he's opting to go Soul Ring first right now when I'm looking at it, which is pretty interesting. I mean, it makes sense. He's got the Ring of Regen. I can't really see him building that into anything other than a Defiance. Actually doing a lot of damage to Foxy here, but too much movement speed. 290 after he gets the press, or 390 after he gets that pressing attack off, so there's not going to be able to bring him down. But I think if he gets his first item or two, he'll come online fast enough to participate in the game. And then if he's going Soul Ring, I think that means he plans on coming online a little bit faster. He might not go for that slow Radiance build. He might go something like Yasha Manta Diffusal.
Boxy still needs to be a little bit careful, though. Forced to pop that salve, and now he still got 3 tangos, but was eating a lot of harassment to the point where he was forced to use that salve. So we'll see how this continues to go for him over bottom. While we take a look over towards top, Mickey taking a lot of damage. The Flame Break comes in. Battery assault from Hanskin's not going to be enough to get the kill here, and they also had a lot of stacks of Sticky Napalm onto the Morphling. But at that point, the Morphling just didn't care and fought back and almost got a kill.
Windridger getting a lot of runes here in the bottom lane. Pretty value. She picked up a bottle, which looks like it's exactly what she's going to do at this point. A lot more control than Razor. Boxy doing what he can here down the bottom lane against the Spectre. And I tried to try a circle there. I hope you didn't see that on camera.
I did. You're, it's very avant-garde of you.
I see. Well, that's embarrassing. Thankfully, there's not that many people watching this.
Yeah, you know, and just see how poor they teach us how to draw circles. It's very hard with a mouse. People don't realize.
There it goes.
It is. All right. Looks like Clockwork is off to go Tranquil Boots pretty quickly here as well. I think he picked up the first item Boots. He really hasn't had as much impact as we saw in the previous game from Lil when he was playing against Liquid again. Rotating. I think he got a kill at the top lane. Tried to give the kill to his carry player who didn't end up taking it. Then got 2 kills on Storm Spirit in the mid. Of course, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to go on this Razor. Razor can do a pretty good job punishing him with that level 3 in Static Link. In fact, it might be too late for him to really rotate onto the mid lane.
Yeah, it definitely.
Bring him down pretty fast.
Yeah, it definitely seems like if he was to have made a move, it should have come earlier. And the thing with it is, now he's just kind of just junctured over towards the jungle, continuing to stack and pull and drag where he can. As 33, he burns away a bunch of creeps, but I mean, did you see where he was? Right around this area. Trying to draw a circle there, but he ends up dead.
That's a much better looking circle. But yeah, that's not his base, but it does create a bit of space, right?
Yeah, I mean, he pulled Razor all the way out of the lane, and I mean, that works. Space created. Still, though, 1,000 net worth lead right now for the side of Liquid. Things are on the up and up. And they've gotten themselves 37-11 on Mickey going into the treads after he's picked up this Ring of Health and 2 Wraith Bands. So he is having a stellar time, sitting top of the net worth by just 300 gold, but compared to the Spectre down over bottom, up about 800, who dives in on a Boxy. Fortunes and Press the Attack will get used, so again, hard to keep Boxy still in this lane with just these 2 heroes.
I mean, you're a lot stronger of a laner as Legion Commander than you are as a Spectre. Like, I'm glad that Fada is here babysitting Nico Baby. This is something that's going to need to happen until he gets the first couple of items. Speaking of, finally gets his boots come out to him. He can have a much easier time. Trying to harass him and keep up his farm speed with the Soul Ring and the Spectral Dagger. I think that was what the play was, but you're at 7 minutes. You haven't made any real progress towards even your upgraded boots yet because you opted to go with this Soul Ring and Wand.
So opting for some attributes and some mana regen. And technically HP regen as well. So the more I'm a more survivable early kind of build coming in from the Spectre, as well as not being mana reliant on, say, you know, sending in mangoes and having the ability to just, you know, have the Soul Ring. If he's low on mana, Spectral Dagger away, everything's fine.
Yeah. You do have an okay setup here. Throw out the Fisher and then walk up to him and duel him, but Enzikin knows that he's here. When one person leaves, babysitting the Nico Baby. Babysit the Nico. When one person leaves, another person comes by to sit here and watch, so they can't get too aggressive onto him. I think that Nico Baby is going to come online pretty fast, though. I mean, if you go with the Soul Ring Magic Wand instead of other things, then it shows, okay, I want to get online a little bit faster, I want to participate with my team. I know that Liquid isn't going to be willing to wait for me to get a Radiance if they've got Chen in their lineup.
So is this calling for more a get into the treads and then go straight to Fusel's Fada? Top? Getting ravaged here by the amount of damage that he was taking by Mickey and Insania. And they'll get not only the kill, but the tier 1 tower. I mean, this hasn't been the bloodbath we saw in the previous game. It's just been methodical. It's been, you know, precise. We got a kill, we take a tower, we pressure, we stay on them, and well, we're gonna cut the map away. You need some, you know, you've got a hero here in Spectre that needs space, that needs time, that needs farm, and the more we cut away from the map, the harder that's gonna be.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like the casting ice, the last night qualifiers we used, Chinese Dota. That's all right. We lose Nico Baby, and over here on this ramp. Or sorry, the
Bat Rider. 33 forced into the trees. He turns back around and shows himself for a second. Flame Break thrown. They don't have a wave for him to catch up to him. Yeah, the Clockwork ends up dead over bottom. I was just showing it, letting you, you know, didn't need to interrupt you or anything just to show that Clockwork death. And it's a 4-0, 4,000 net worth lead right now for Liquid. I mean, again, yeah, things have just looked great so far for Liquid. And again, it doesn't show any signs of it slowing down at the moment. As I say that, good fissure there from Taiga to let Boxy escape.
Yeah, and you got the, well, you have all the babysitters down here for Nico Baby. You also have a lot of people on the side of Liquid that are trying to get into position to catch him out. I don't think a whole lot of action is going to happen on the Spectre, probably just around him. Mid lane. Unfortunately, you don't have focused fire.
Got the static going. Good power shot coming in from Limp, but a very timely regen rune.
Exactly what you need when you need it. Insania, I feel like I haven't seen a whole lot of movement out of this Chen so far. It felt a little bit slow. It's not compared to some of these other last game, Kuroki. Well, Kuroki was a bit more active.
It seems like both teams play a different style, though. I mean, not as active around the map, not as, you know, heavily invested in the early game pressure like that. At least in terms of going for kills. The pressure that has been fine from Liquid overall. Grabbing that tier 1 tower in the safe lane has been pretty big, and they've also got this ward that's yet to get dewarded here on the dire jungle side. So, you know, might be looking at them play aggressive through the jungle.
Looking back at the Spectre, looks like he's got his first item queued up, Blade of Alacrity into Diffusal Blade. So he does opt to go a little bit faster Spectre build. He knows that Liquid is probably going to want to take the fight to them earlier on with the Chen, so he responds to that in kind.
But now the question is, can he get there in time and feel like he's valuable to Alliance? Because at the moment, he's got 3,700 net worth, and you take a look at what Mickey has, he's leaning by about 3K over this Spectre. He is certainly going to be able to do much more, as he has got double the net worth in the same amount of time. Take a look over bottom. Yeah, overwhelming odds comes through. They've got the false promise to keep the Spectre alive. Focus Fire comes out on Insania. They'll get their first kill of the game. Lucian's in throwing at Boxy, but he's got to press the attack. Spectral Dagger follows it up. However, throwing everything in the kitchen sink towards bottom, is it the wisest idea for just the Chen kill? Because now you're mid-tier 1. Well, that's going to take a lot of damage.
It makes sense that Liquid would try and do this to do a little bit of something out of losing those 2 heroes there. Fortunately, Legion Commander didn't die as well. She's a little bit hard to bring down, though. Talk a lot about how strong this hero is at the moment. Just do, like, you have to press the attack purge. It's a D-spell on top of a heal. You have massive amounts of movement speed. I think you're one of the highest in... It might be the highest in the game. Highest or second highest in the game at the moment. And your strength hero on top of that. You're just way too hard to bring down.
So Mickey close to having this Lincoln Sphere. 1,200 gold away. He's been farming phenomenally. And, well, if you're Alliance, you're hoping this Diffusal Blade comes online pretty soon. Because you, like you were saying, this is probably an item where you are electing to fight quicker and fight earlier. So now the question becomes, how fast do you get it, and what's the game plan once you do?
I think that they're fine. Again, you're on Alliance, you're fine drawing out the game as long as possible. You build the Diffusal Blade on the Spectre, you eventually get a Manta style. That will offset a lot of what Razor is able to do with his static, because again, the damage that you have from Desolate isn't based on whatever your base damage is. It's not added on top of anything like that. You do a raw extra 50 damage, so having illusions, even if you lock all of it,
Shackle shot. Boxy in trouble. Hand of God comes through, but nobody else is coming to save him, so it's not like it's going to change anything using that Hand of God and trying to keep him up. Fortune's in, thrown at Mickey as they do take the tier 1 tower over mid. And again, just putting more and more pressure onto this dire side.
I mean, I was just talking about how hard the Legion Commander is to bring down, so you'd think that would be the last weapon they would want to gank, but and he was playing a little bit more far forward than the others because of that, so killing him, putting about a 500 net worth swing to the side of Alliance. They're doing a lot better with this than I thought they would. Again, I told you coming into this, I think I favor Liquid's draft by a lot, but they still have a lot of their towers up at 14 minutes, even with their fairly slow lineup. It's extremely quick. I don't really think, I don't think they should have picked the Spectre, but they're definitely playing it in the right way this game.
So far, 5,400 net worth, getting close to that Diffusal Blade, not too far off of it. Question again becomes what happens afterwards, because it feels like as much as the Spectre is getting this time, it feels as though Morphling's getting, if not an even amount of open time.
Yeah. So Morphling actually, yeah, got so much more net worth than the Spectre after 3K from him. I'm not sure how I feel about first item Lincoln Sphere though. This is something you used to see years and years ago, but it's not that great of an item for farming. It's more so something you pick up if you're really afraid of the enemy's
Echo Slam, Flame Break, and the right quick damage coming through. 33, an easy dispatch kill. They commit the Echo on that. They commit the Morph on that too. Meanwhile, Legion Commander over bottom, trying to get a kill there onto the Clockwork, but Limp able to chase him out and uses that Focus Fire once again to get the kill.
Yeah, the hard to bring down hero dying multiple times, so making me look a little bit foolish here, Legion Commander. But, nice pick off there from Morphling, puts even more gold under his belt. Now he's another 1,000 net worth up on the Spectre because he gets a kill, Legion Commander goes down. So 9.4k on him. I was comparing him to the... I was comparing him to Nico Baby, my apologies. But still, more than 1,000, or more than 4,000 or 3,000 net worth up on Morphling.
Mickey's going to try and commit to this tier 2 tower over top.
Look how fast
Nobody
he
coming
goes
over. Yeah, I mean, how can you come over on this? It's fighting to almost certain death. They've got Hanskin nearby, but you're just jumping into your demise.
Pawn's still on cooldown for another couple seconds as well. Probably not going to want to go on him until that is up. I'm surprised that it's Nico Baby playing so close to the enemy team here as they're inside your jungle instead of him farming the bottom lane would be a little bit safer, mirroring the map movements of the enemy team, getting farm.
Are scanning.
Instead he's playing close to him, that was always pretty close to cooldown. Because again, you're able to engage anywhere on the map, so you can play pretty far away from your team as long as you are playing far away from the enemies as well.
And they're going to look over. They've got the static link. This is all on to Fada, who gets dueled and blown up after the false promise was over, giving the second duel victory here for Boxy. It's just a long static link and throwing that damage back at the Oracle, now making this an 8,000 net worth lead. The two supports on Alliance, they're broke. They can't afford rent, they can't afford food, and, well, they can't afford a new item. But now Hanskin Battery Assault is coming from this Morphling as well as from the Clockwork. Adaptive Strike gets thrown forward. They've got an ensnare on him. They're trying to get the kill, but he'll be able to retreat past the tier 2 tower where Liquid refused to dive for the moment.
Yeah. Meke was trying to get a little bit further forward before popping that waveform to get on top of the Clockwork and around the cogs. Unfortunately, he went too far forward, got himself pushed back, so we'll let Clockwork get the disengage.
Is under attack.
Philosopher's Stone picked up, but definitely not a Spectre item. Hand that over to someone else on their team.
Ooh, Echo Slam coming through. They get the kill onto Limp. Now they look over at the Clockwork. The chase is on once again. They'll land the Fisher. They'll get the duel and the victory. 9-3, and just, again, the precision in these fights from Liquid. Overwhelming Alliance by leaps and bounds.
It's just them getting on top of them so fast and not expecting Liquid to come at them this quick. And because of that, they're not reacting properly. They don't have the Oracle quite where he needs to be on Alliance. Spectre's not going in haunting into these fights because, again, once you have the bad initiation, it would just be a waste of a cooldown. But because you die so close to the Roche pit, Liquid get Roche. Actually, Clockwork getting to position. Wait, no, he's still so far away. Teleport. You can't teleport there anymore. He's gonna be too late.
On comes in and gets the kill on Roche, but the Aegis is now being snatched up by 33.
All right. I mean, if they can get the Aegis from them, wonderful. We've seen a lot more Roche steals these days than we used to with the pit over here. I remember back in the day when it was that awful like high ground around it, very dangerous. Batrider was king around it right there. He still shows to be king, but what a play out of Batrider.
And Insania caught out. Fissure comes through, Plasma Field out, but the Cogs blocking this Razor from getting to the low ground quickly enough to potentially turn this around. And again, opening up more space for Nico Baby. Well, Liquid, you gotta wonder when the ultimate push of death comes in onto Alliance, making it so they don't have this ability to farm out or make a move like they just did.
Well, Morphling's continuing to outfarm the pace. Well, Morphling's continuing to outfarm the pace of this Spectre here. Unfortunately, like the overall gap, like percentage gap between the two net widths is closing. And again, as the game goes later, Spectre will eventually win. The only problem is this combination with the Oracle. I think probably around the 26, 27 minute mark, Liquid is going to be ready to push high ground, but Steel and the Aegis definitely slowed down their plans.
Spectral Dagger, Firefly, and the Flame Break on him. He'll pop the Lincolns.
And now pull him in, but doesn't get the kill just yet. Fortune's in, gets thrown. The damage is not enough. Press the attack will take the Aegis away from 33. Now they've got the duel out onto the Oracle, who won't be able to false promise himself. He'll fall. That's at least one kill. They got the first life away from 33, and now they'll give chase. He'll TP to an escape. Just barely.
That was
a long TP.
TP to the outpost. That's a 6-second one instead of a...
Ooh, E-Blade, BKB popped by the Windrunner. Limp using that 10-second BKB pretty defensively.
You don't want to be here if you're Alliance though. You just had your Batrider leave. Your Oracle is currently dead. His TP is on cooldown, so he's not able to come back if he buys back or when he respawns. So you get out of here right now. You're wasting time by hanging around.
So see that quick little push there from Liquid, cut out the last
Dire's bottom
tier 1 tower.
attack.
And again, Liquid just extending their pressure, and now over on the opposite side of the river and pushing towards tier 2s, both mid and bottom.
Dire's bottom tower.
Razor, Koiva pops a casual farming ult, or maybe misclicked that one. Wasn't sure what that's about.
Dire's bottom
And
tower.
pretty close to the enemy base to just pop the ult with the farm creeps though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Pops
what
the
that
ult,
was.
maybe trying to just increase the farm rate. That's the
We can
best I
ask
could
him
say.
about that. Ask him about that one later. His team, again, I'm thinking that, again, 26, 27 minute mark, that's when they're going to want to be pushing these tier 3s after losing that Aegis. But they are playing pretty close
Got
to the
Blink
sun and
Echo, and they're gonna use it. They look over the Windrunner. Limp will get False Promise, but Fada's already dead.
Dire's mid
So any heal follow-up, any sustain you thought you were gonna get from the Oracle, I mean, he popped the ulti to save the Windrunner, but at the same time, you lose that Oracle, and he's dead for 26 seconds with pressure coming into the tier 2, the last outer tower over mid.
Lions having a bit of lag apparently, but that was really quick from the Oracle saving him from being kidnapped there. Unfortunately, Legion Commander came out just a half a second too late with that duel. Otherwise, getting both those heroes at the same time would have been real nice for Liquid. But, usually see them timing slightly better than that, but the window of execution was pretty small right there.
So he's able to pull it off, but again, however, loses his own life in the process. It's 11-4, 11,000 net worth lead here for Liquid. And the question becomes, how long until the tether breaks? Because you're tethered to life, hanging by a thread, and it's about to all go downhill very quickly. So here they go. Into that tier 2, they'll get the tower. Do they want to push, or do they take the safe, easy route and wait for Roach to come back out?
Well, looks like they want to wait for a couple items here. This is coming out of the Shen is the Gem of True Sight, so wait for that. Razor's 2,000 gold in the bank. You might wait until he's at least partially done his Monkey King bar that he's working towards. Again, that would help him take down the Wind Raider. Just being able to chase him down while he's got that Wind Run active and he's static linked to him. It's pretty important. Morphling, 2,200 gold towards his Aghanim Scepter as well. They are all grouped up. I think that you're not in the worst place in the world, or you're not waiting too long if you decide to get a couple of these items first. But they are posturing towards the enemy base.
Just 60 seconds until Echo Slam is available again. Feels like it could come up in the next fight, which could be the game ender.
Yeah. If they back off, it looks like they're not 100% sure on Liquid if they want to fully commit. Again, they're pretty close to a couple items. Might be
For a
discussed.
duel, Blink, and he's got it. Do they have the damage to finish him off before the duel finishes? It doesn't look like it, and Fada will also be able to throw the False Promise if they were to have that extra damage. When the Fortune's End comes through, they've got the Shackle out, Hook Shot comes in. Now Boxy locked down a little bit as the Haunt comes through. So jaunt on over as they've got the lasso onto the Earthshaker. Hand of God comes in. Taiga's surviving for the moment, but the Shackle lands, and they've got the kill. So he's done and dusted. Has 45 seconds till he'll be back up. And it looks like the rest of the team will still escape.
Yeah. 600 net worth swing on the side of Alliance for that one. Again, pretty good disengage from them. Wind Ranger is just too hard to jump on and get the duel off on prior to Razor picking with that MKB. Again, this is something that they probably should have done, is finish up a couple of items before going in. You are 12k net worth up, but you're sitting on so much gold on each of your heroes that it really doesn't feel like it at the moment. And here we are. Tier 3 items coming out. Found the Telescope on Chen. It's a very good item. Obviously something you can hold on to for the rest of the game.
Voidmail pop there by Boxy. Taiga coming over. Spider Legs. That's a decent one for Boxy if he wants to pick it up. Currently has the Van Brace. Might even just throw that over to his support. Waveform forward, Fada on the run, just escapes the grasp of Mickey.
Tiger taking his new spider legs out for a spin already. Intentionally walked down the cliff even though there was no point to doing it. It's a fun item to have. I love the animation on it too.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Certainly had a fair share.
Hensikin ends up getting chased down there, but throws cogs out, gets the TP back to his base.
Ooh. Once again, going for the 4-staff. Axe finally picked up here for the Morphling. He's got that E-Blade Lincolns that he started with, now going into the Ags. Butterfly next. So just 17,000 net worth, almost 5,000 ahead of the Spectre. For now, Nico Baby has gotten enough time to go into the Diffusal as well as the Manta. Is the Heart enough next?
I don't think so. They just all smoked up, so they definitely want to take the fight. They want to take this new Aghanim Scepter on the more spin. The static field might give away where they are if they had any heroes watching in the mid lane. Definitely going to set them off. This creep wave suddenly disappearing. But it doesn't look like they managed to catch the smoke out. Here they go.
Yeah, there's the fissure as well as the totem. They'll get the duel under the clockwork. Now the waveform out of the low ground to pass these fissures. They don't get the duel victory just yet. Hanskin's also going to use that hook shot. Limp from a distance away. Fada ends up dead. They'll use the Hand of God. They'll get the kill into the Earthshaker. Now they look over as the false promises out onto the Windrunner. Shackles over to Boxy.
Oh.
Now they've got the Haunt power shot comes in. Mickey needs to make some space, as they've already lost the Razor, and press the attack was placed onto the Morphling, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Blade Mail popped on Boxy. E-Blade Mickey trying to survive. Purifying Flame starting to heal him up. They'll get the kill on a Boxy, and now they'll look for more. 3 heroes gone to the side of a Liquid Alliance, finally trying to take advantage of all this, and now they'll take out Mickey and get everything they came for and more.
Wow. 4-man team. Oh, it wasn't 4 for fortunately, you did have to buy back on the Oracle, but they reacted to that so fast on Alliance, even though they had absolutely no idea they were coming up there. Right away, the Oracles managed to save the Clockwork. With him on the back, with him saving the Clockwork hook shots onto the Earthshaker before he's able to get off his spells in the team fight. Pick him off. No Echo Slam used. Fisher is basically the only spell that he got off in the team fight. Because of that, they just had a lack of disable and were able to run circles around them with Alliance. So you need to pick off the Oracle in the backline with the Legion Commander at the very start of these fights. He's getting away with too much. Even though he did go down, he did die, but that was after the fact that he saved the Clockwork, and because of that, Earthshaker goes down. Whole fight unravels for Liquid after that.
Now, unable to kill that clock quickly enough. Fada ends up using that buyback, and it just now they've cut into the net worth pretty heavily. Was a 13,000 just about net worth lead, cut down to just 7.
Yep. That last fight, 3,700 net worth swing.
Oh, maybe even more than that.
The fight recap open still, and I think almost 9,000 XP change. That's the real big one. Open those gold charts and win probability. It was really looking like Liquid was favored. Now we're back closer down to 50%.
Again, we'll see if Liquid will look to fight. Roche up in 7. We'll take the outpost. This might be the control they need to back off towards Roche. We'll see. As they TP the Legion Commander over towards bottom. He continues to turn into this Earthshaker, a combination that we haven't seen in a while. The Ags morph Earthshaker builds.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's I'm getting PTSD from that one. I did not have a lot of fun playing that patch. Thankfully, it was nerfed a little bit. You can interrupt it in the middle of his cast animation before you get out of roots. You could get out of leashes. You get out all kinds of things with your Earthshaker eggs. So, you're just a better version of Earthshaker when you're playing Morphling. Picking one hero to be a better version of another is interesting tactic.
They go in a Roche. Smoke comes out. Is it going to be in time? It looks like they're making up the ground. Insania trying to step in and stop this hook shot, but he might not be in the right location. 33 coming over. They'll evacuate the pit, and now the flame break gets thrown in. They'll totem forward. Fissure thought about Helt for now. Lasso coming into the top of this fight. They look over at Boxy. They've got him locked down. They've got him really soloed out. The damage coming in from Limp isn't going to be enough with the blade mail pop. Limp, you need to be careful. You might even just go around and kill yourself. And now they look in at Nico Baby as they take out the Spectre. They buy back on Boxy. The totem jump over from making a 2-shot. Taking out Fada with the 1-2 punch. And then he gives the 3-piece and the soda over to Limp. Continuing for more, a hook shot away from Hanskin, trying to survive it all. It seems like the dollar menu is getting ordered right now for Liquid. The Fissure just missing. And they just escape.
Getting me kind of hungry with all this fast food references. So Roshan at the low corner, Halsa decided to finish this one off. They were going for that combo, maybe a little bit harder than they should have, but they don't want him jumping in and stealing another Aegis from them. They still got PTSD from the Bat Rider, giving them that yoink.
So again, they try for it. Bat Rider, meanwhile, bottom dying to Mickey. And you're going to start to feel some heavy pressure once again. They finally got the kill of the Spectre that they needed. I don't think they'll be able to force the buyback on this push, or at least they shouldn't.
Still got Fortify up, it'll buy you a couple seconds here. Should they choose to use it.
Oh, Fissure landing. There's the totem and the 3-shot coming in to take out Hanskin. Now the buybacks start flooding in from Alliance. They'll use the Haunt to try to dive in. Nico Baby leading the charge on this as Alliance are taking out Liquid, or at least attempting to on the run. The totem out of the backlines. They look over at the Oracle, who use the false promise on himself. They got themselves the lasso that hits onto this Morphling. They'll get the kill, so they're taking the first life, and now they need a reset. Can Liquid get the Morphling out of here? They've already lost Boxy for the second time. The ankle slam! Is it enough, though? Power shot comes in from Limp. They've got the E-Blade out on a Taiga, who now needs to try and turn tail and run. But the Fortune's End is there. They've locked him up. The E-Blade thrown over the Spectre. You need to be careful. A lot of damage coming in on the Nico Baby, but it's not enough again. They've got the kill to the Earthshaker, as well as the Legion Commander already dead for 30 seconds within this. And finally, Mickey gets out. And, well, Alliance semi-whole.
Just a couple things. If they went a little bit more right for Liquid there, this game would be over at the moment. Hensikin ended up getting out of that by popping the Essence Ring with, like, he ended up having a 200 HP after. Spectre almost going down right there. He did have buyback for that fight if he went down, but he would have been in a lot worse position if he did. That tower, pretty low HP though. These days you're not that worried about your tier 3s going down. No shrines get opened up because of it. We're now on the outpost meta. Speaking of,
hookshot attempt. 33 coming in under Insania. Nico Baby's also joined the fight. Quickfa, he's shown up, but he may not have wanted to. However, Mickey's coming around. He's turning to the Windrunner. The shackle on the lone tree that's right there. But there's immediately the false promise placed by Fada on a limp. He'll use the BKB. He tries to escape and will do successfully. And now the shackle comes out again. It hits on a Nico Baby. They've got the damage. They've got the lockdown. Or do they? Power shot. Whoop! On the skin of his teeth, almost escapes, but the Fissure is there to get themselves the kill. Hanskin within the trees. Boxy blinking a little bit too far. They look over as 33 is within the trees and escaping.
They got him!
Back over, they find him! Clockwork's been spotted. Boxy and Taiga now going on to the chase for this Clockwork, but he's got the hookshot to make some space. So he'll start to run the blink forward from Taiga. He's also got the spider legs. Fissure blocks him off. The stairs are no longer your escape route. The tower is also here. They'll get the duel. Do they have the damage? The Fissure coming in from the Morphling as well as the follow-up. And Hanskin ends up dead.
Only saving grace that team fight is that you didn't lose the Wind Raider, all due to the Oracle save. Again, this guy's getting away with so much for his team, but Wind Raider almost going down, ended up having 200 HP after the Oracle ult ended, even with the extra heals from the Oracle and the healing in the fountain. So with that MKB finally up on the Razor, I think they're ready to take a fight into the Alliance base here. Spectre might have to buy back in order to defend this Rax.
So they'll come onto the high ground and we'll see if they hold. Let's see if they can force the buyback coming in from Nico Baby. Racks are gone immediately because, well, Mickey, unfortunate for Alliance, is holding on to a double damage. He's got about a quarter of the duration remaining on it. He waveforms forward. That's enough to scare back Alliance and really make them uncomfortable with pressuring into this Liquid side, but they've got the Spectre up in 3 as well as the Haunt. They'll jump in with the Totem. The E-Blade comes out. Now the Haunt's going to be used by NicoBB. Huge Haunt into Insania with the Spectral Dagger, trying to get himself some free roaming space. BKB's been plopped by Koikfa, and Boxy looking for the duel. He'll land it onto the Windrunner. Meanwhile, Totem over from Mickey. The 3-shot once again on Nafata. The following up with a kill on a limb. It's a triple kill here for Mickey, and he takes out NicoBB. Whew. Man, the buybacks come aplenty, and all of a sudden Alliance are on their last leg, 21,000 net worth behind. Mickey jumping all over the place. We're getting that PTSD you were talking about with the Totem coming through from not the Earthshaker, but the Morphling.
Oh my god, that's such good teamwork there from Liquid. At the exact same time they choose to go on that Wind Ranger up there. Gets on top of the Oracle with
There's
the
the fissure. NicoBB in trouble. The Static Link comes in. And, well, the adaptive strikes come out, but let's see. Can they hold on to the side of Alliance? The False Promise already used on Nafata, so they won't have a save for NicoBB. He's taking a lot of damage here. We'll pop the man to the BKB's going to be popped. They've got the dual out of NicoBB. See you later, done and dusted. That should be the game, and it will be. Liquid take game 1 over Alliance in very convincing fashion.
Everything just came together once they decided to break that base there. Again, the timing between these two people was slightly off a couple of times as they tried to break the base the first time. I think they between the tier 2 and the tier 3, they almost got perfect timing jumping in that Oracle and the Wind Ranger at the same time. Unfortunately for the Oracle, even like as far back and as well as he was playing, Earthshaker jumped on him the exact same time the Legion Commander jumped on his allies there. There's just no way to get that False Promise off.
Yeah, it turned into who can Boxy control, and then all of a sudden, when you have multiple fissures coming your way, where can you be? Mickey coming through with a fissure, then a Totem, then he's 2-shotting you. I mean, he's giving you a left hook and then a gut punch that's really just killing you. He was hitting so hard after the Totem. You had 196 dual damage on Boxy, and he's your control, your extra control that's coming in with a duel. What do you do if you're Alliance? You were crowding your base at that point. It looked like maybe you were bringing it back with that exit fight where Liquid were on the run and lost a couple of heroes, but it really did collapse quite quickly as Liquid take game 1. I mean, what are your answers?
You didn't have any. Again, this lineup was just a little bit too slow. You did all you could. You tried to play the Spectre with the build as fast as possible, but just not enough. Team Liquid, amazing coordination.
And they take game 1. We'll see if Alliance can fight back, make this a 3-game series, or if Liquid will take the 2-0 and move on to the BO5 final on for you tomorrow. So we'll take a look. Game 2 coming up next. I'm your caster Bkop at Bkop92, joined by Neph at nephsensei on Twitter. Follow us to know when we're casting. We'll be back in a moment. Stay right there.